Well, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I got a little problem. Been rolling around the mag all day. All day. It's still running fine, but looky. See that white cakey crap? That thing is leaking. Expansion tank, overflow tank, whatever you want to call it, it be leaking. And that means I gotta put another one in. But guess what? I got another one in my patio. Bought it a while back, never put it on. It's going on today. That's a quick job though. Very, very quick job. Don't take nothing to do it. Nothing at all. You don't even lose no fluid, really. The only fluid, well, I take that back. You gotta lift it out with the hoses connected and then kind of keep it up in the air, and you can disconnect it and you'll only lose what's in the tank. And you can put that back in there. It should be fine. You shouldn't have no air gaps. So I'll get that done ASAP. But otherwise, man, it's a great engine, man. A lot of miles on this engine. Performs very well. Very well. See, I got a catch can. I never had a catch can before. But my homeboy Matt Seal gave me that. It looks so good. He had red stuff on his Jeep. He had an SRT8 Jeep. One of the first dudes I met with an SRT8 Jeep back in the day. My boy, shout out. He gave me that, and I couldn't put it on my Jeep because I ain't got nothing red on my Jeep. I'm all blue and yellow, so. But it looked good on here, don't it? But you don't need a catch can. A catch can is not necessary when you don't have direct injection. Because, I mean, man, I wish I could show you, but I had opened up my Chrysler 300 when the motor was dying, and I was looking in there to see what's going on, and I could see right at the back of the valves. Now, you know, the normal system, normal EGR system lets oil go back in, like right here. Comes back in through the intake. I'm sorry, EGR. It would come in here, and oil gets back down in there, goes in through the intake, goes back into the motor so it can be burned, right? Small purposes and crap like that. And that oil cakes up on the back of the valves, the insides of the valves, back of the valves, and makes your engine run trash. That's what happens to Volkswagens, Audis, cars that have direct injection, where the injector is in the combustion chamber. The injector on these cars is not in the combustion chamber. The injector is right here in the intake path. So what that does is that squirts gas down into the intake before the combustion chamber, and it squirts it all on the back of the valve. And so as the valve opens up, it all goes sucks in with the air, but it also keeps the back of the valve clean. When I opened up the 300, like I said, I pulled the valve cover off looking for broken springs. I found that it was crystal clean behind each one of the valves. I never ran a catch can before, never. And I mean, that's how it's supposed to work. You don't need a catch can when you're running a regular HEMI. The Hellcats are different. Hellcats are direct injected, I do believe. So you have to run one. Supposedly there's one from a factory, some system where it doesn't happen, but I also see guys put catch cans on their Hellcats. So, you know, that's a different story. But naturally aspirated HEMIs, Gen 3, you do not need a catch can. It does nothing. You will collect oil. You will collect oil, and you'll have to empty it like I'm about to do right now. But you don't need it. You really don't need it. And I can't pass smog with that shit on there, so I got to take it off before I go get the smog check. But other than that, it look good though, don't it? Whew, too hot. I was gonna open it up right now and show you, but it's too hot. I'll wait for this to cool down. But that's all for now. Peace out.
Shop me them, but I didn't tell them to send it to PayPal.
No?
No.
So they're not gonna
Venmo.
Okay.
But I didn't see. I gotta check Venmo. Why they send it to PayPal? I don't send shit to PayPal.
Right. Anyway. Hi. How you doing? Sexy. Wife for 26 years. Yep. That's her. Okay. Anyway. See, this is what happens when you leave cars outside. That's why cats be on top of them. But, you know, it is what it is. Not in a while, no. They only climb up there when the car is wet. Or at least that's the only way you know they were up there, because the car be wet from dew, and then they leave their little paw prints on top of the roof while they high-five each other, and they really feel accomplished that they've dirtied up your car. And then you have to go wash it because you got paw prints on your roof and your hood. But other than that, I still got a light I gotta clear off of this damn 300. I'm gonna pull a computer tomorrow, put in another computer, and see if that changes it. I changed my O2 sensor and it just did not do a damn thing. But that light is still on, telling me my temperature's bad. Temperature thing on the oxygen sensor. You know, the heater. A heater on the oxygen sensor is showing high voltage. However, when I ran that PID in my OBD2 JScan app, I ran that PID, both #1 sensors on both sides are running the exact same temperature. The heaters are working fine. Now the heater was bad on the passenger side. Sensor 1, bank 2, sensor 1. That was this one up here at the top of the cat. That one was running negative 83 degrees. That's what it was saying. So I changed it out because I got that light, changed it out, and put the new one in. And the new one did not cut the light off. I have cycled it, I've driven it mile after mile. I mean, I put 100-some odd miles on the car. I have also took the battery, disconnected the battery, waited a few hours, came back out, reconnected the battery, still a light. I've cleared the code, cleared the code. I got it to cut off during startup, and as soon as the engine fires, the light comes right back. And I've messed with the wire. The wire's not touching nothing. It's not hot. You know, the wire to the oxygen sensor, it's not touching anything. It's not grounding out. So I'm starting to think the PCM is dying in this thing. But luckily I have another PCM, because when I was going through my changes last April with the engine, I had to, I bought a new PCM just to test it out to see if that was a problem. It wasn't the problem, so I put it in the trunk. Only problem is this PCM has got my taser on it, and it also has my my T1000 Diablo Sport tuner on it, right? So I tried to tune the other computer, and the T1000 would not read. It would not be, couldn't write to the new PCM. The new PCM's different, and they're not upgrading. Diablo Sport's not upgrading that tuner no more. The T1000, T100, whatever it is, they're not upgrading it no more. So it's trash. However, the tune works on the old PCM. The new PCM got a new flash. So I have to go into this car, unmarry the tuner, the Diablo Sport tuner, so it can be free, unmarry the taser, pull a PCM, put in a new PCM, and hope that this new Predator 2 that I just bought will work on it. Because I still don't know. I'm not able to update it yet. So I'm not even, my computer don't even see it. So I'm still working with that. So we'll see. But I'm hopefully out the box, I'll be able to put a tune on it and adjust the fan speeds. But until then, we'll just go in the house and sit down, man. Been a long day. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll keep you updated how everything goes tomorrow. Okay, waited till the next day to do this because it was way too hot. The coolant was too hot yesterday. It's starting to get hot today, but we're gonna go ahead and bust this out quick. Now you need a few things for this job to get started. First thing you need is a 10mm boom, because you're gonna need to pull these two. Those are the only two screws you really need to pull out. You're gonna need some pliers to disconnect the little spring clamps. There's one here. That's the intake, and that's the return line. Also got one on it. So now, if you like me and you got an aftermarket intake, you're gonna have to, actually, you know what? Yeah, you gotta do that regardless. You're gonna have to pull the intake. at least part of it. So I'm gonna pull all this out because this is hooked in right here. I can't get this up and out until I get this off. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off right now and get to work. Also, you need to get you one of these. Luckily, I had one sitting in the back. I had ordered it. I forget why I ordered it. I think I was just gonna paint it and make it look brand new, and I decided to go ahead and just paint this one since it was gonna look brand new. But when I painted it, I used an X-Acto knife to cut out the window because I used Plasti Dip. I used Plasti Dip to cut out the window so I could see how much coolant I got. I don't like it being totally blacked out. So I think it developed a crack along those lines and then started leaking. You can see all the goo right there. Whenever you see this white crap, this residue in your engine bay, you got a coolant leak. And nothing's down here, nothing's around here. Usually this is where you see it when your radiator's leaking or when your water pump's leaking, it flings around on the belts. So I got nothing coming off the belts. So we're good. I'm just gonna snatch this out of here and put the new one in and try to lose as little coolant as I can. Wish me luck. Well, now I see I just basically loosened up the intake right here, took off the butterfly here, and rotated it up. You can do that with an aftermarket intake pretty easily. And you know, you can leave everything connected down there. Got the hose off, just spring clamped, and I put it right here, kind of just to keep it up. Now the key to lose as little fluid as you can is we're gonna try to keep everything high up when we disconnect the line, the bottom line down below. There's fluid in the tank still. It's low, but it's in there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna disconnect it high up and try not to lose and spill too much all over the car. I'm gonna put some towels down, undo these 2 bolts, and show you what I'm talking about. Let's get to work. Put everything inside the intake filter. Oh, also, the brake fluid container here is also stuck down in the in this tub. So, you know what? Let me make sure I got everything right. Yeah, everything's right. It sits down in these little grooves here. The intake sits in those grooves, so that makes it more than a 2-screw job. But anyway, just lift it out. Now, see fluid trying to come out here already. And it's leaking. I want this to be as high as possible so that it doesn't drain. I'd like to keep it up here, but you know. Damn, I wish there was somewhere I could keep this for the time being. Anyway, that'll be good. Now, as I undo this, it's gonna be a mess. God damn it. Let me go get some towels. Keep my engine a little bit pretty down, you know. Get all this paint work. You know, the coolant can be quite corrosive. So, we're gonna cover up all these little things here. Probably be a good idea to have the other one ready to go as soon as you start this crap, which it kinda is, but yeah, I'm gonna put it on deck. Get the squeeze clamp off. Just rotate it. You ain't gotta take it all the way off, just get it past the, you know how it goes. You know, it'd probably be a little bit easier, a little less messy if I took off the strut tire brace. But we're not gonna do that. Of course, it's been on here for many, many years, so it's a little good way to do it. Just stick a flathead in there and loosen it up a little bit and it'll pull right off. Now, let's see. All I don't want to lose too much, but I'm gonna lose it. All right, quick switch. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off and tilt it back and sit it down here for the time being. Grab this one and plug it up quick. Minimal loss of fluid. Ah, fuck, never mind, I'll take that back. Quite a bit of fluid loss now. But anyway, I got the other one on. So now, take this, sit it down.
Warning, intruder alert.
Let's bring that clamp back. Replacing this hose is a bitch. So if you don't have to, I wouldn't worry about it. This one thing about this Magnum is that it has never come close to overheating. I've never had a single overheating problem. I've had to replace the radiator many moons ago. I replaced the radiator because it had a crack at the neck where the upper hose goes in. But aside from that, I mean, it's been absolutely beautiful. It holds at 203, 204 all the time. Never moves. Alrighty. I got a lot of extra coolant went down low, but we're not gonna stress over that. Looks a little murky. Might be time to do a change. Shit. But I'm not gonna do it right this second. Get it in later. It has roughly all there is to it. Oh yeah, I gotta put the other one back on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let us put some boom in it. Okay, that's all free now, so no issues there. Those spring clamps, they're really good. I mean, I see what a factory used them. They ugly, they look primitive, like they wouldn't work, but them things work, man. They hold for years upon years. I guess eventually they'll get soft and let go a little bit. But for the time being, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a flush on this thing. But I don't have nothing right now. But when it's time to do a flush, you want the Xerox Go5 from Valvoline. That's what we use. Show you this shit. This is the stuff. This, if you can't get the if you can't get to the dealership and you don't feel like paying $50 a bottle, go ahead and grab this. It's usually on sale at AutoZone, at O'Reilly's, whatever. But this, trust me, I did my research. This is exactly the same stuff. It's orange. It's a Hote. It's a hybrid, organic, synthetic mix of whatever. It's a special kind that we need for these engines, and that's exactly the right stuff. So anyway, we put the brake fluid reservoir back on. That hose is back on. Bend this intake down, and we're pretty much back in business. Uh-oh, didn't go in. Hold up, hold up. Boom. Butterfly. I don't know why this has a butterfly on it. I think it had a butterfly from the factory. I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyway, butterfly seems to work good, so you don't need a deep socket. Just tighten that little bastard down. Now the screw's rotating. Hold on a minute. There we go. Air filter back on. Always leave that little adjustment screw where you can reach it. Sometimes people put it down, way down low, and you can't get to it. It's just little things, the little things that'll make this job take all day. That's it. Now we just fill it up and start it up and make sure we don't need to burp it. Now, if you want to burp it, you can. You just got to pull this out, start filling that up, and eventually it'll run out of there and you put it back in. That's supposed to be the highest point at the motor. It's about as high as that. So, you know, and if you ever wondered why we have an expansion tank instead of just a cap on our radiator, it's because the fluid needs to be, the radiator sits a little low because of the nose. So the top of the radiator is way down here. It's actually below this point. So they put an expansion tank up there. You can have extra fluid, plus you can keep the radiator absolutely full. I do believe that's why we did it. Why some cars have them and some cars don't. My Jeep over there has an expansion tank, but it's not pressurized. It's just the overflow. When extra fluid, when it gets hot and it needs some space, it runs into that tank. That's what it is sometimes. This was pressurized. This is where my cap is. So this is part of the system in whole. So it's probably because of the elevation of the radiator. The radiator on that's pretty high up, so nice cap for the system on top of the radiator. But anyway, that's it for now, folks. I'm gonna fill this up and start it and keep it pushing. Another thing I like to talk about real quick, I run a 19 to 21 pound cap. Now you get a 16 pound cap from the factory. And what the difference is that once the engine gets hot, if it ever gets up to operating temperature and gets overly hot for some reason, the pressure will go away from the cap first. 16 pound cap will let it out and it'll start running all out of your thing and it'll start boiling and run out of there. A 19 to 21 pound cap holds the pressure in a little bit longer. In other words, it prevents the coolant from actually being able to boil, even though it gets a lot hotter. But that's just a preference. Racers like to run these hotter things because their engine gets hot real quick for a little while. And the only downside is that you can blow a head gasket before it runs out of there. So it's kind of like a safety switch. So it's up to you what you want to use, but I use this because that's just how I am. I live dangerously, but I also know that, you know, sometimes it just gets hot and you want to, but I keep my eye on my temperature, so I'm not never going to let it get that hot anyway. That's all. Now, if you're like me, you mess around and buy non-mix. You buy the concentrated. Don't say 50-50 on here. So this is concentrated. So I'm still low in here, so I need to add some more. So what I suggest you do is you keep one of these on hand. It has a little locking thing here to let it drain out or lock it, and it also has measurements on the side, so I can go half water up to 16 coolant and let that run in and mix on the way down. That way I'm never messing up the actual ratio, because when you mess up the ratio you get rust and you lose proper cooling if you go the other way. So we're going to put in roughly 8 ounces. You know, that's gonna be too much. Well, I'll just pour it back in that. And I keep empty bottles just for mixing purposes. So, brand new jug here. I'm gonna take this up to 16. All right. Now we're gonna let that roll in.
Warning, intruder alert.
Oh, that did not do the trick. I'm gonna do it again. Roll in another.
Warning, intruder alert.
Well, it's at the minimum line right now. I'm gonna roll in another maybe 8 ounces. Because I know we got some of it's gonna have to drain back in. So we'll do 4 ounces here. Then we'll fill it up to 8. Now this thing's got a little filter in it. I use it for everything. I use it for oil. I use it for coolant. You know, things like that. All right.
Warning, intruder alert.
Now there's a top for it, but the top gets lost. So we just tighten it up for there. Set it down. Put the cap back on.
Intruder alert.
Let's start this little puppy. Never want to use tap water because it's got too many minerals in it. Prone to rusting. Let's start it. Listen to a purr. Well, but that's it for now, folks. You know how it goes from here. Keep a HEMI on your right foot at all times. All right, we're back one more time. Filled it up with fluid, as you remember, you saw me do. Started it up, got it up to operating temps. Coolant level is still perfect. Pretty much just a little bit shy of where I left it when the thermostat opened up. It started cooling instantly, got up to 203, and it went back down to 201. That's how I knew it was the coolant was working. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I don't think we lost enough to matter. This is my little digital gauge that I use because I don't trust the needle, because the needle's a liar. The needle is predictive. The needle likes to predict what it thinks is gonna happen. So if it thinks you're getting ready to overheat, the needle will move to hot before even the temperature does. And when you're running fine, even though you may, like if you're keeping if you got a 180 thermostat, you're keeping it low, the needle will stay low all the time. Even if you get on the freeway and hit it and heat it up, but the car knows that it's just gonna cool right back down, the needle will never go up. It'll just kind of stay there at perfect. You know, it's predictive. It's not really directly honest. And as a mechanic, as a, you know, a guy who's really into my car, you know what I mean? I like to know what's going on. I need the digital gauge. So yeah, look again. Now see, look, I got a 203 thermostat, but we're running at 201. And everything's just fine. The needle is actually telling the truth, staying right at 200. But you know, for the most part, we're good, man. That went really easy, really smooth. So I'm good. I'm good here. Now I gotta go mess with that car and mess with the computer. I'm gonna go ahead and I probably will pull it off and put the new one in. You know what I'm doing? I'm gonna pull the tune, go back to the stock tune, see if that don't clear the light before I go through all these changes. And if it clears the light, I'm good. If it don't clear the light, then I'm gonna go ahead and pull out, put it in the other computer, put the Predator on it. I was still, all night, I tried to connect my Predator to the computer to get the latest update. I could not connect it. Predator 2, the little cheap one, not the big one with the big screen and all that, with the multiple accounts and all that shit. Just the one that's regular. All I want to do with that tuner is put on the 91 tune, and I want to be able to adjust my fan speed. That's all I need from the Predator. So that's why I got the Predator 2. A lot cheaper, a lot simpler, but I still can't hook it up for updates. I'm gonna try another computer. Maybe my system is just not up to whack or something. I don't know what the hell's wrong. But anyway, that's the next job. The Jeep It's not giving me any problems. I don't have no problems with it, so it's just gonna stay there how it is. But yeah, oh, look at this. $199. Come on, dude. I got a 2 or 3 thermostat. But I guess if you got the hood open, things tend to stay a little cooler under there. But anyway, thank you for watching.